commit a crime in their city or country where they live and no one can do anything about it, like law enforcement intervening to stop this person. Well, if you're interested in how an alleged gang leader in Haiti could do something like this, and you want to know what has been done to stop him, you might want to listen up for this next case. This is the case of homie Vitel innocent, and if you want to know more about this case, please continue watching. This man, Vitel innocent, is wanted by the FBI. In fact, he's on the top 10 most wanted list for fugitives because it is alleged that he has kidnapped people as well as Americans in his home country of Haiti. And he also has a $2 million bounty on his head from the FBI with the condition that they capture him. I'm not sure if it is dead or alive because they did not specify this in the wanted poster. But he is 38 years of age and he was, of course, born in Haiti. And as you can see here on his wanted poster, he looks like a man with wild eyes and just like he is like crazed out of his mind. But I think that this is all an act just so that if he is caught, he could probably chalk it up to insanity. Now, I don't know if this is what he's trying to do, so I'm going to say that everything that I'm stating here in this video is my opinion, and it is alleged. This is just my opinion and what I believe is happening or going to happen. But nonetheless, he took time to sit down with a reporter from CNN in his country of Haiti at his home and to give them his side of the story, or how things are going, or how people perceive him to be. And as you'll see in a video that I have put here at the end of this video, that he is somewhat seen to be or known as a charitable man in his community, which means that he has helped many people who are less fortunate than himself. And he has also helped some victims or people with disabilities. Like, there are 2 individuals that he has helped who are blind, but so many others are wondering why he has not helped the rest of the community that might be suffering. Because, not to say that, he has gotten all of his fortune legally. He has probably, used some of these tactics like kidnapping and murder to earn some of his money. And he probably has also, if, he is into that type of thing, he's probably also used street pharmaceuticals to also keep receiving money from the community, because that's what a lot of people do when they have those kinds of things going on, like kidnapping and murder. They also get involved into the drug game, which is horrible. So in actuality, I'm glad that this man is on the top 10's most wanted fugitives list. But the thing that I find strange about this man is that he says that he is divinely protected by voodoo, which is heavily practiced in the Haitian culture. I don't know much about it, but I have somewhat been intrigued or interested, if you will, to know the ins and outs of that, just to know if that is something that is possible. Now, I'm not gonna say that I don't believe that if you believe in it, it can't touch you, because I've heard many stories where people who think or feel that is not a real religion or something that cannot be used to protect someone or even harm someone have been victims of a person who practices voodoo. And, I don't know if he's any different, but I do believe that this is, just a ploy to keep people from bothering him, or to even make people think that if they, put this man in jail or even do anything that, people have happened to them when they break the laws, that they are going to fall victim to his practicing voodoo. Like, something may happen to them, whatever that may be, whether it be them stubbing their toe or breaking an arm, what the things that people might say that are normal things when people have accidents, something of that nature, and even much worse things. And I don't know, if he's really practicing voodoo or has someone who is covering him by using voodoo, but if he is, that does not mean that he has the right to run from or escape the law, because he's, because he has people trapped in fear and afraid to do anything to him, because, they feel like, they may get the worst end of the stick by, taking this man to jail or prison or what have you. But if he's out here kidnapping people and allegedly killing people, then I do believe that something should be done about him, and no one should just leave him to his own devices, because people like that can and will, feel like they are untouchable. And like I said in the beginning, is it a such thing as to be too protected as to where you can't have anything done to you because you have the regular citizens in your country or city or whatever that are protecting you, as well as the gangs that you affiliate yourself with? Because he is affiliated with a gang known as the crazed bars, I believe it's called. And just for future reference, if I screw up any of these names, I'm not Haitian, so a lot of these names I can only pronounce them the way that I see them, and I know that a lot of them I'm going to butcher, including his name. So just please grant me grace and forgive me for that in advance, because it will and is going to happen where I screw up his name and others in this video. But like I said, the gang is known as the Crazed Bars gang, and he is the affiliate, or even he might be the leader of that gang, and he's just using them to take out people that might be trying to have him sent to prison or jail for the crimes that he's committed. And he apparently he doesn't want to go to jail or prison, because then he'll have no more lavish amenities that you see in his home, or even the ones that you don't see. But he did sit down with CNN to give them his side of the story and what he's doing in his community to help the less fortunate out. But yet and still, he is a menace to society. It is weird when I read this article about this man, because it says that, he has armed guards, or, whatever you call them, in their country, who jump at his glance, as well as he could also be the type of person to have a philosophical conversation with you to prove his knowledge of certain things. He also is, like I said before, known as a charitable man who is supposed to be a great hostess, because not only is he philosophical in conversation, he also serves his guests with food and drinks when they visit his home. I don't know if this is something that, he always does, or he just did this because he had reporters coming in from CNN and he wanted to make a great impression on them, just in case, he was caught by the FBI. But I also think that it is a little narcissistic when you can hide from the FBI, but also at the same time still give interviews to CNN and other stations. And that's also another thing what I mean by being too protected. Is it a such thing to where you can feel like, oh, I can make a public TV appearance that is probably going to be seen by millions of people, but yet and still I can hide in Haiti because I have so many people protecting me, and so many people who are willing to not give up my location, even if the FBI were to show up to capture him. Now, I don't know if anybody remembers this show, but I used to watch this crime show like so many others, and there was this man who lived in Jamaica, and he was a alleged drug lord, as well as an alleged person who deletes people, take people out, and I'm not talking about to dinner, so let's be clear about that. But he's known for those types of things, like kidnappings, taking people off, taking people out, and I can't remember how it happened, but he was the same way as this man here, Vitel Innocent. He would be this charitable man who would help the old people, say like if their power got shut off or their water got shut off or they were without medicines that they needed or food or anything. They could send word to him and he would help them. And somehow, while doing all of this, he was still involved in a pharmaceutical ring, and he was the leader. But somehow he was turned in by the FBI. And in order for him to escape Jamaica, he got the bright idea to dress up as a woman, wig, hair, like the hair, the nails, the heels, the clothes, all of that. And so he was able to escape and leave, but for some reason I'm thinking it was because he was outside of his comfort zone and he wasn't able to move in the way that he normally would if he was in Jamaica. He decided to sneak back into Jamaica, but under the cover of darkness, just like he left under the cover of darkness. And maybe about 72 hours after being there, it might have been a little less than that, he was actually captured by the FBI, and they actually, had a trial for him and everything, and he had previous charges, so he already had a record. So when he was sentenced, they added on the rest of his, criminal charges that he had not been brought to justice for yet either. So I'm not sure how many years he received because it's been so long ago since I watched his show. But if I can find the article, I'll link it down in the description with everything else that I'm using as resources today. Now, not to make fun of this situation, but the reporter who went to Haiti is David Culver, and he is a under-melanated person. So if I'm him and being non-melanated, I'm gonna think, I don't think I want to do this interview. Can you pass it off to somebody else, who, might be a little more suitable for the job? And this is me just thinking as me. And if I were him, I'm pretty sure that's what I would have said if I were in his shoes as far as being non-melanated. I would have, said, can we send somebody else? Even me as a melanated person, I wouldn't go to Haiti to sit down with this man because I'm thinking, what if I don't return? Because he lives in a part of the country that authorities had been telling people for days, even weeks, to steer clear of, just not only from the water levels that were rising there at the time, but also the crime rate and how rough it is or was at this time. But after weeks of negotiations with CNN, they entered Haiti's ganglands, and it was like, he had the group or the gang, the crazed bars, to be among his armed guards for when, they arrived. And CNN had said, well, maybe we should take police with us for, our safety. But for some reason, they gave, Vitel gave his word that when they were there, they would not be harmed. And, when they enter a certain point, it's like a checkpoint. And then you see two men in the video motion for them to follow, his armed guards, because they had to come and get them and escort them to him so that, basically they could be under his protection the whole way there so nobody would touch them. Now, if you know anything about Haiti, you'll know that when the reporters of CNN had to be escorted in by the guards, they were escorted in by his, I guess you could say, armed security. And they, as you'll see, I don't know if they show it in all of the clips, but if you watch the full CNN interview, you'll see that they had long guns pointed out of the windows. I guess just to be able to shoot at the ready, because like I said, they were escorting David Culver and his crew from CNN into the territory where Mr. Vitel Innocent is the leader of. And I think it's really strange when the police of that country or city or state or what have you don't want to provide security for someone who is a reputable business or person, because CNN is not just anybody. CNN, I believe, is well known. I'm not sure if it's worldwide, but a lot of people, if you mention CNN, they automatically know the channel that you are speaking of and the things that they report. And I just think that it was really strange that they didn't want to offer protection to them. But I believe that since, he is the one who is involved, they felt like, okay, we probably can't go there because it's going to cause a shootout, and that's something we don't need. And maybe they have had something similar to this happen in the past. I'm not sure. But that is the only reason why I can think that they did not want to offer protection to him, because they felt like if they were to show up in his territory, then it would cause a problem, and which I think it was kind of a 50-50, which I mean that it was smart of them to think that way, but it was also dangerous for the reporter and his crew to go in without law enforcement's protection. But like I said before, Vitel had said that he can promise that they won't be harmed or anything, so that is why he had his men bring them to him instead of him going to them. But as you'll see in the other part of the video, he actually goes out into the street and walks the street like a regular person, and nobody tries to do anything to him. I'm not sure if that's because he had cameras with him or people just fear him that much, but you can see that he does do that, and it's like he almost kind of knows that he is just that protected where nobody can touch him. And that is scary for a person that young to walk around with that knowledge, because think of the harm that they can do as well as the harm that he's already done. Because like I said, this man has a $2 million bounty on his head from the FBI. As you will see in the video, the reporter said that when he met Vitel, he was slight but unarmed, and he was basically dressed to the nines in a bright striped batik suit and soft loafers with a tangle of gold chains and a cross draped around his neck. And then he led the way into his mansion. And the reporter also stated that there were elaborate gold velvet chairs and settees, crystal in display, and cases and arrangements of plastic flowers hinted at previous owners. Now, when they say previous owners, I really would love to know, how did he come to acquire the mansion? Was it through fear, or did he buy it from them and said, hey, I'll pay you this amount and you sell it to me? Or did he, basically scare them into moving out, because let's face it, he's not a a very skilled person who does not use violence to get his way. As I said, he is on the FBI's most wanted list of the top 10 fugitives. So that's what makes me wonder, did he buy this house from the previous owners, or did he gain the house through fear tactics? Like basically telling them, hey, if you don't sell this house to me for this price, I'm gonna whatever, the case may be. Use your imagination there, but I'm pretty sure you can think of some things that he could have done to persuade them to sell him the house. So that is what makes me wonder that about him. Now, where are the previous owners now? That is also a good question. It's so many questions that I have when it comes to this man, because let's face it, who's going to be alleged to have committed all these crimes and not fear walking the streets? As you can see that he wasn't. He basically walked the streets with confidence, and like I said before, nobody touched him. But the reporter also said that they sat removing stuffed teddy bears from the seats to make room and talked about the future. I don't know how this man can sit and talk about the future with someone when he has basically been the alleged cause of basically demolishing a city with the crime and the Lord knows what else he's done. Basically crime and corruption and alleged kidnapping and all of these things. Yet again, everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged, because he has not been charged with anything, and he is still on the FBI's most wanted list. So everything I'm saying in this video is my opinion and mine alone, and it is alleged. But I am reading from an article, and I will leave all of that in the description box below, like I said before, just so everyone is clear on that. But like I said, the reporter said that they sat and talked about the future. And Vitel states, the Haiti we had, Haiti, the pearl of the Antilles, and that we grew up in, could still return to being the most beautiful innocent, said, speaking mildly in Haitian Creole. One day, someone could sit in Champ Demures and have an ice cream. Now, I don't know if this is a restaurant or just an ice cream parlor that he speaks of, because, like I said, I'm not very familiar with things in Haiti, so I would not know that. But he said that his dream is that someone could sit in there and have an ice cream cone. And he states that today's capital is iconic. Champ Demures Park is a war zone between gangs and police after years of political turmoil, institutionalization, neglect, and a series of brutal natural disasters. Haiti's ill fortune was pushed to its nadir last month with an unexpected wave of gang violence that has effectively shut down Port-au-Prince. Now, I don't know how long this has been going on, but I thought that ever since the president, I can't think of his name right now because it escapes me, but I was under the impression that ever since he was assassinated, that a lot of these things have happened. Like certain parts of Haiti have closed down. Certain businesses have either gone out of business or moved because they are in fear of the gangs that are there. And I do know for a fact that a lot of Haitians have come over to America through the Mexican border, and I believe that this was just last year in 2023 that all of this has happened. And a lot of them did say that the reason that they are here is because their country is in turmoil, which is very sad. because I couldn't imagine leaving my home in America just to go to somewhere else because it is so violent and crime ridden. Now, one thing that I would say, that if he wants to be the person that he's perceived of being, why not clean up a lot of this crime and, start to show the people of Haiti that, hey, this is my mission, and start doing some of the work, and let people see him out there doing the work, because that's going to be the only way that they'll be like, okay, well, he's speaking about this and he's also doing it with his bare hands, and maybe he'll have others join him. And also, why don't he stop a lot of the crime, whether it be, due to the gangs committing crime and violence, or, try to have a civil sit down with, get one of his head men to sit down with the police or something of that nature, and just try to come to a resolution of how they can bring Haiti back to what it once was without all the crime and violence. Now, I know that's easier said than done, because a lot of people are going to be like, well, how do you propose this man do this? Well, first of all, he can start by putting some of his money, even though a lot of it, I'm sure, is allegedly ill-gotten, into some of those businesses, to try to resurrect that first. And then maybe a lot of people will be inspired to say, okay, let's clean up the area, the city or the country, and, help him bring it back to what it once was, since he's out here doing a lot of this. That's just my, take on how some of the things can get started that he wants to happen. But unfortunately, guys, that brings me to the end of today's video. If you like today's video, please leave me a thumbs up. Please leave me a comment down in the comment section below. And this is only part 1 of the video. And also, if you are not subscribed yet, please make sure before you leave that you subscribe, so that you can catch this video as well as all the other videos that I will be posting. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
In a room filled with gold-rimmed furniture and stuffed animals, I ask him about the crisis engulfing Haiti.
Our
dream is to rid the country of the corrupt oligarchs and politicians who are holding us back, he says. We need to get rid of the system and return stability to Haiti. He speaks with intention and calls for greater dialogue. But if it's the same system that's been in power, then as armed groups, we will never put down our weapons, he says.
And so do you have regular communications with, as you say, the other armed groups?
Yes, we're united, he tells me. The gangs have formed a coalition known as Vivre Ensemble, or Living Together, and collectively they push back on foreign intervention, holding tight their grips over a fractured state, some using terror tactics like kidnapping, rape, and murder to sustain control.
Is that something you've participated in ordering your men and women to kidnap?
He says he hopes to defend himself in court against those allegations. And while not denying his followers have kidnapped people, he deflects blame to outside forces for creating a state of corruption, as he sees it. He's eager to show us other parts of his home and territory, and introduces us to his top commander. Security experts suggest Crazed has more than 1,000 armed gang members, including recently escaped inmates.
As you can see, a lot of his armed soldiers and followers are around us. And he's suggesting that we follow and drive with him.
He brings us to the edge of his territory. We notice his guards, normally curious and watching us, are instead looking outward, cautiously, toward another gang's territory. A reminder that the coalition of gangs might be more fragile than portrayed. In the midst of our tour, a disturbing video starts circulating on WhatsApp. It reportedly shows the devastating and deadly aftermath of an allied gang attack on a community a few miles from where we are.
The destruction, the violence, the deaths that have played out. Do you take any responsibility for that?
He only says he made mistakes and is not perfect. He blames politicians. We're interrupted. Something nearby puts his guards on edge. We pick up the conversation a short distance away. Senior editor Caitlin Hu further pressing for an explanation to the horrors we've seen in Haiti.
But we have also met in hospitals women, children, innocent people who have been burned, who have been forced to leave their homes, who have been shot, who have been raped. Why are innocent people suffering in this struggle?
He does not clearly answer. Instead, he frames the months of deadly street violence as collateral damage. He points the finger at police, saying they refuse to engage in dialogue and instead recklessly open fire. Police say they're desperately trying to keep the gangs from gaining more ground. Vitel claims to be a man of faith, devout in practicing voodoo, a common religion here in Haiti.
I've heard rumors, and I don't know how true they are, so I ask you that you have voodoo protection. Do you feel that protection?
Yes, he tells me confidently, adding that he prays daily for his fellow Haitians.
Ultimately, what is it going to take to bring stability and a future of calm to this country?
He says he and the other armed groups need to be included in discussions of Haiti's future. That's the only way he sees convincing gang members to drop their guns in exchange for a future outside of violence. As curfew nears, we head back the way we came, Vitel stopping several times along the way, mingling with locals, handing out food, smiling as though on a campaign trail.
Are we getting out?
He wants us to meet these two men, blind refugees. They tell us Vitel took them in, but it leaves us wondering, why help these men and force so many others out of their homes? Look at actions over words, he tells me. As we near the edge of his territory and the end of our 5-hour visit,
All right, let's not hang around here if we don't have to.
Vitel gets out of his motorcade, waves for us to move forward, and strolls to the desolate street corner. He then comes to our door and shakes each of our hands. His actions, intentional and symbolic.
Going good?
Yeah. Here we are, just a few blocks from the U.S. Embassy, and that's clearly a demonstration of how confident he is and the many he has around him displaying their show of force.
A flexing of strength in a lawless nation, where, today at least,